It's like raining over here. Well, it's a thunderstorm. Like I go on Google.com, and if you type in the word weather, it says like heavy thunderstorm for today, and it got me thinking about all the different types of weather, and like something that I think about like very often is my appreciation for the rain, which I think a lot of people do appreciate. You know, there's a lot of upsides to the rain when you're inside. Um, when I'm in the crack bus, like you guys don't know about the crack bus. I'm gonna do a video on the crack bus one day. It's gonna be like a pea shooter lore video. Like when I'm in the crack bus and I like hear the raindrops on the roof when I'm drifting off to sleep, like I did last night. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. And even if I'm just like hanging out with my friends and here it's raining outside and we just look outside at the world and it's so comfy. But there's also a lot of downsides to the rain. Like, um, I left my Bluetooth speaker below the open window and then went inside to go take a break from my computer. And then I noticed it started raining and I rushed back in here and it was like absolutely soaking wet. Um, it's dried out mostly and is working fine, so I think it's okay, but that really scared me. And it reminds you of the side of the rain that's not so good, like you and your possessions getting wet, which really does tend to suck. A lot of my most miserable days are ones where I'm stuck out in the city, like with no umbrella, just trying to walk to where I need to be. It's not very fun, especially when you add wind into the mix, which tends to be the case when there's a storm. It's not nice to be out there. And if you're inside and you get the idea like, oh, I'd really love to go for a walk right now, I'd love to get some fresh air, but then you look outside and it's just absolutely pouring down. That does kind of suck. And so there's a lot of these negative sides to rain, but I feel like nobody ever actually like complains about them too much. Like, at least of the people I talk with, like rain is seen as a something we're very grateful for, and I do understand that because it is beautiful. And that got me thinking about like there's only the fact that there's only really like three different types of weather. Like when you're playing Minecraft and you type like /weather set space, it only gives you like three pre-filled options, and there's like clear, like sunny day, default, boring. There's raining when there's water falling from the sky, and then there's thunderstorms when there's water falling from the sky and loud noises and lightning. And I just feel like that's not enough. Like I've seen all three of these so many times before. And like with the exception of thunderstorms because they're a bit rarer, like they don't really tend to excite me too much. I wish we had a fourth or a fifth option. Like I think whatever big company's controlling the weather has to add another one. Imagine if it could literally rain cats and dogs. That would actually be really bad because the cats and dogs would like hit the ground and go splat and die, depending on what like height they're raining from. Like if they're falling from the clouds, I don't think that would be a very good idea. But, like I suppose you could classify like other things as like types of weather, like a cyclone or like hurricane or typhoon or whatever you call them. When there's like a big storm. What even is the difference of a storm and like a typhoon? It's just a big one. Or like there's a tornado. That could be. I guess you can classify that as its own like type of weather when there's a big tornado going through like making the cows fly or whatever. And maybe you could say like earthquakes are a weather event. I don't know. No, because I feel like weather events, like we talk about the weather, you're really talking about what's like going on in the sky. Like how humid is it? Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? There's the other distinction. It can be either clear or it can be cloudy. Now, I think a lot of people, they look outside and they see the gray clouds and they go, "Oh, what a miserable day." And I think these people are being extremely unfucking grateful. Because you know what's more miserable than a sky that's just a bit of a dull color? Is having the fucking sun beaming down on you constantly, making it so you can't do anything without sweating your ass off. Why the hell would you prefer a clear blue sky over a moderately cloudy day with a normal temperature? Cloudy days are my favorite type of days. They're the most comfortable to live in. They're the most comfy, it's not too hard on the eyes. There's a good level of light. There's a good temperature. It's nice to go on walks when there's a bunch of clouds overhead. Of course, if they're rain clouds, that's a different story. But I'm just talking about normal clouds. I don't know. I don't know why people are so upset about cloudy days. They go, "Oh, it's so miserable." I think they're just saying that because that's what they hear other people say when it's a cloudy day. But in reality, they're so off base. Since it's the New Year's season, my plug has just been like completely out of stock, and like I haven't, and so I haven't been smoking like at all, uh, for since like I think like the 28th, and yeah, my mind is like so empty, my mind is so clear, um, that I'm actually like I'm forced into being creative because it's either sit down and listen to Blade, which I do, but eventually you get bored of that after a couple hours. Or it's scroll social media, which I'd rather kill myself. Or it's try and get creative. So you could hop on FL Studio or Audacity or OBS, editing software, make a YouTube video or something, and or like write a YouTube video on Obsidian, and like I've just been forced into this like state of like idea generation and having fun and coming up with cool concepts and talking, just because I haven't been smoking, I think. And so like yesterday I wrote like four videos or something I made free. It was crazy. And I'm going right back into that as I wake up, and I get into the middle of the day where I got the most energy. That's another thing I want to talk about. My energy levels have changed a lot because what day was it? On like the 1st of December, I took a tolerance break from weed until I think the 23rd, but I also decided to take like it's a weird concept, but like a tolerance break from caffeine. I used to drink coffee every morning as the first thing to give myself like an energy boost, and then I decided to cut that out, and like if I want the taste of coffee, like I just drink decaf. And of course, not having coffee is miserable, and it was for honestly a straight month. I was so low energy. Um, but the lower energy isn't like the only part of it. There's also like without caffeine, you manage to kind of. I feel like I can reach a new level of calm compared to before. Like when I'm just sitting around doing nothing, like sitting in the car, or like just like focusing on my breathing or something, looking at the sky, looking at the birds fly by or something. There's like a new level of calm that I managed to reach that I've never really seen for a long time, where it's just, yeah, I'm just chilling, I'm existing. Like I still got thoughts racing through my head. Don't get me wrong. I always have thoughts racing through my head. It's impossible to turn them off. But they go a bit slower. They don't feel as loud, and it's nice. But like also like the thing about the energy levels is like they were completely nuked for like a month. I was so miserable. But now around actually around the time of, like the new year, now it's been a while since I had like a regular everyday caffeine dependence. I'm feeling my, like they say this is what's meant to happen when you quit caffeine. It's like I'm feeling my energy levels throughout the day just become more stable, and I'm actually having like more mental clarity than I did before I was having caffeine. Because the thing is, when you drink caffeine in the morning, yeah, sure, you're all like hyped up, but then like there comes that slump in the middle of the day, and you just don't want to do anything but like sit down and scroll and consume. I actually think that caffeine could be like contributing to the problem of everybody just scrolling all day, because they run out of energy by the time that their first morning hit runs out. Yeah, no, I've been finding it a lot easier to sit down and actually like make stuff and talk to people and just do relaxing things, make myself food and not starve. It's nice. I think I will go back to caffeine. I described it as a caffeine tolerance break because I do plan on going back to using it, but I only want to use it as like a focus tool because in a month or so I'm actually returning back to school, and I feel like I'm gonna need some assistance in order to keep my focus on point at school because that's always been something that I struggled with. And so I thought if I take a break from caffeine and then when I go back I start using it again and it has a greater effect, then maybe even if just for like a few weeks that could help me get a bit more like coursework done. So that's my hope with that.